Hello, good evening, and welcome to tonight's penultimate session of the week. We will finalise the Saturday night finals lineup after 10 matches this evening, including these two gentlemen, Joe Davis and Chaz Barstow, who's wearing a very fetching shade of red this evening. He is definitely in the frame on the second night of Group C, where we will see the climax of this 5-player group, which also includes Colin Monk, Richie Burnett, the 1995 World Champion, and of course the table topper from yesterday, Paul Hogan, who failed to lose one single game. But this best of 7 match, as is the same for all Online Darts Live League matches, will commence now with Chaz Barstow starting us off. Someone who has definitely grabbed the attention of all darts fans in the last couple of months.
100.
I don't want to rehash all of the facts that we came out with last night, but we do have to say that we're very lucky to have Chaz here. If he got one more point at Q School, he wouldn't be allowed to be here. So the PDC Tour's full-time loss is our benefit.
45.
But this year it hasn't stopped him from playing on the Pro Tour as an alternate and doing some very, very tidy things. On top of that, he was very tidy last night, picking up 6 points from a potential 10. And he will think that he should have had more than that.
40.
I would have to agree. Results last night for Chaz: a 4-0 win over Colin Monk.
58.
A 4-3 loss to Paul Hogan, and that was a game he let slip.
58.
Then a 4-2 win against Burnett, where he took advantage of some missed doubles from Burnett in the middle part of that match. And then the final game of last night was this fixture
93.
against Joe Davis, where he was exemplary in winning 4 legs to 0.
26.
Not the best start to this one, but he's still in position to win it if he can find a ton plus checkout.
$96.
Bullseye first, surely. And it's not going to go, and Joe Davis will have the first chance to break the throw this evening.
33.
He should go bull first if he's feeling defensive. And that bullseye is covered so badly. And I don't blame him for going for the treble there. Double 5.
85.
If he hit the single, he would have had to find a worldy shot. 2 double tops. It's not going to go. Bit of a scrappy start here for Chaz.
79.
He gets the setup. Does Joe give him another chance? Can he find double 2?
8.
Bit of a settler this one. And Chaz will be feeling rather fortunate if he gets this double.
Gaining 2.
And a very good shot indeed. It is from Chaz Barstow. My name is Paul the Asa Nicholson, and I will guide you through this evening's 10 games. We are 1 leg in, and Chaz Barstow for the week so far is 5-0 up on Joe Davis. Now, last night's performance from Chaz was very, very good indeed. An average of 101.9, which was the best we saw last night.
140.
He was 50% on doubles, a high checkout of 120, and he did not allow Joe Davis one shot at a double in that 4-0 victory. Well, Joe's had his chances in leg 1 here,
96.
and we'll have to find his sharpness pretty early, because only getting 2 points last night,
180.
Joe is in early trouble and in danger of not having any chance of making the finals alongside Adrian Gray, Barry Bates and Robert Thornton.
95.
2 more spots up for grabs. Feels like Chaz is starting to get his groove on.
80.
Back-to-back 180s. And this is more like what we've seen from Chaz in the last couple of months. 79 left. Treble 13 or 19. Gets the treble 13. And gets the tops as well. That's a 12 dart break of throw for Chaz Barstow. It was a bad first leg, but he still got the win. And he still has not lost a leg against this young man from Brighton so far in the last 24 hours. Sense of deja vu for Joe Davis, who, if he loses this game, will feel, with 3 matches remaining in his campaign, that his job is done for the week. He has played 4 previous days and improved day on day in Group A, where he finished 3rd.
97.
Hence why he's in this group for his second chance of the week.
140.
But he's up against a bulldozer here. And Barstow, with a win in this match, a heavy one at that, will take him top of the table ahead of Paul Hogan, who plays his first game
96.
of tonight against Joe Davis in match 3. Could it be Barstow and Hogan as the 2 favourites to make it?
180.
Look at that. Tungsten Terminator. That is Chaz Barstow.
138.
A third 180 of the contest. And it could be a second consecutive 12-darter.
42.
I'm going to have to get me a set of those chunky barrels. The way he's been flinging those things around the last 6 weeks. Second shot at a maximum checkout. And second time he has missed the first dart.
58.
He is being blown away by this man from Winchester.
Game in 1.
And it is a 13 darter, and the average does go up even further. And he's at it again, Chaz Barstow. It's not as good as last night. It's in the mid-90s, but this is a very good performance considering what happened in the first leg. 9 more matches after this. And don't be afraid to get in touch on social media tonight. My Twitter handle is @theasset180. And you can also tweet online darts and, of course, MODUS darts 180 as well. Lots of traffic last night talking about who would play Richie Burnett in a movie. Potential nicknames for Chaz Barstow. And I've had a couple of people get in touch with me about the nickname of Joe Davis. I've had some people say he's called Ding.
95.
And Kirsty Harding's got in touch saying his nickname is actually The Show. Joe The Show Davis, which rolls off the tongue very well, I might add.
60.
If Chaz wants to finish with a flourish, a 140 and a 170 finish should be nice. It's still possible.
85.
Not anymore. A lot of love being shown to Barry Bates today, who fought really hard this week and has fought his way into the finals. Especially after a really tough Monday.
134.
Can Joe Davis somehow fight back from 3-0 down? It's not insurmountable. Diogo Portela yesterday lost from 3-0 up against Barry Bates. Treble 18. Well, now it's got to be 19 bull. Bullseye to save the match.
35.
That could be that if Chaz Barstow finds a bit of accuracy in the middle of the board here. 60 for the bull. Well, that's the old Rod Harrington route for the 125. That's a bit frisky. You haven't seen that checkout before. 45 tops. Oh, I like that a lot. I really do. I don't think it gets used enough. Joe Davis for double 16 to save the match. And it is a fine shot there from Joe. Is he Joe the Show, or is he Ding, or is he just Joe? Well, he's 3-1 down, and he needs 3 straight from here to rescue 2 points. Stephen Pemberton's been in touch on social media asking about the players for next week. Well, I do know who's playing next week.
90.
But I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to tune into the finals. And I'll tell you tomorrow. So, there you have it. No spoilers here. That's a great shot.
190.
Here comes Joe Davis and this possible comeback.
134.
Just had another bit of interaction from Joe's manager. Apparently he doesn't have a nickname, he doesn't want one, so apparently it's all fake news. People have been telling me fibs.
$99.
He really wants to stay on the 20s here, but he can use the 17s. Now he can use the 18s with the open bed. That is really well thought out, I think, from Joe. Very intelligent play. And whatever Chaz does, it's done quickly. The switch to the 18s did not pan out the way he wanted. But for the third leg in a row, Joe's left himself on 170. He's determined to get another crack at it. He's already hit one this week.
98.
And he's come up with a good score there. Still in the hands of Chaz. This is for the match and no longer is it for the match. 65 left. He's left himself on 15.
What was it?
How many times have we seen this week people on 65 and hit the bullseye? Treble 20 bed. And now it is one dart at double 16 to save. And he's done it again, Joe Davis. I tip my hat to you as he will not give up. He was 3-0 down and now he's within 1. The comeback is most definitely on. And he is, possibly, the favourite for the match here. With the momentum, and he's not missing doubles.
134.
The missed doubles from the first leg of the match are history.
180.
Chaz Barstow, with his 4th 180 of this match, is trying to make this match history. Here comes Joe. Back into it. Oh, what a good match. That settled that first leg. And then since then, it's been excellent stuff from both players.
96.
He's held on to his throw, even though Chaz has scored 276 points in 6 darts.
58.
Got to be careful on this shot.
90.
And he gets a central bull. Look at that, right in the bull of the bull. And if Joe doesn't take the 129, he will revisit that bullseye for the start of the next visit, if he's given the chance. Overpitched in a big way on that second dart. And Chaz gets another chance to finish the match off with a ton plus checkout. And he misses the first dart once again. Well, he's got 61. And he's done it again. He's too good. They say you've got to aim for the 25, not aim for the bullseye and hope you hit the 25. The guy's too good right now. He's left 15 and 11. But Joe Davis is looking to shut him out and has done so again. Well, if this is what we're in for tonight, you better put on your seatbelt, Brilliant, brilliant darts from Joe Davis. A 72 checkout, and it is 3-3 in this brilliant first game of the night. Chaz's average is just shy of 97. 91.5 for Joe. It just feels like a better game than that. I've just had a tweet from Stuart Monger. Hope I said that right. Chaz is one of my best mates, best man at my wedding. You asked about a nickname. He is the Prince. A name that Chaz loves. All the Mungers rooting for him. Great commentating. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's easy to commentate on Chaz. He's an absolutely brilliant player to watch. It makes my job a lot easier. We are in for a very entertaining night. We've got that rematch from the 1996 World Masters next between Monk and Burnett.
100.
And maybe Chaz Barstow has had enough of this comeback. Because with the darts, which is key in this last leg, can he finally get a match dart? They do say the way you win darts matches is to not afford your opponent a match dart. And fair play to Joe Davis, he has managed to do that.
60.
He's been under pressure since the very beginning.
57.
Still advantage Chaz. Very much so now. Go for the bull. You keep hitting it. And this time he can't. Typical. When he needs the bullseye, can't hit it. And when he wants the 25, he keeps hitting the bull. Are we going to see one more twist in the tail in this one?
100.
Possibly not. It's double 11. The match start
Game in 3.
is found. What a great game. 3-0 up. Then it's 3-3. And Chaz Barstow does go to 8 points to join Paul Hogan on that mark. They are at the top. They are in position to get through. Can someone get close to them and above them? Richie Burnett is one who is challenging, and he's next against Colin Monk. Into match number 2, there's a debate going on as to whether the board is straight. Sometimes it's an old tactic from these more seasoned veterans, just to give themselves a few extra seconds. But it is Richie Burnett's first game of the night, as it is for Colin Monk, who is still looking for his first win in Group C. Yesterday, it didn't go to plan for Colin, who was defeated by Richie Burnett by 4 legs to 1. He did play some decent darts at times, and I don't think the tally of 0 points was that accurate for Colin Monk. He might feel a bit more relaxed this evening. because yesterday was his first competitive action on a stream for quite some time. Time will tell as the ever popular Colin Monk will grace the hockey against one of the most watchable players on the planet in Richie Burnett in this one. Again, the PDC Tour card holders, loss is our gain, as we see. A rematch of the 1996 World Masters final, which was won on that occasion by Richie Burnett. back to the Online Darts Live League, and it's time for that rematch of the 1996 World Masters final. The question is, can Colin Monk get his first 2 points of this group? With Chaz Barstow and Paul Hogan currently on 8 points, and in every likelihood going to get a lot more than that. The pointless tally from last night has backed Colin Monk into a corner, meaning he will not qualify for tomorrow's final, with the likes of Thornton, Adrian Gray and Barry Bates. Mad Monk Senior will begin this one. I think tonight his main aim will be just get a win. Because I don't think he's played poorly whatsoever last night. I thought he was very steady and measured, which is what I expect from Colin Monk Senior. Early ballet moves from the box office player that is Richie Burnett, and there will be a lot of people tuning in via their favoured bookmaker site tonight, and of course via the Online Darts YouTube channel 26. To watch this man right here. He is still box office, even 26 years on from winning that world title. I think at the time,
80.
There were a lot of people thinking when he won that 1995 title, it's inconceivable that he would only win the one, because he was that good.
95.
A lot of people would have thought maybe he'd get 3, like John Lowe back then. Could he possibly rival Eric Bristow, who had the most at the time?
180.
First 180 of the match for Burnett, and it will not be the last that he hits this evening. We've already seen Chaz Barstow win that first match with 4 180s and a very impressive
100
haul on the doubles as well, where he got 4 from 6 shots. Burnett has already taken the darts away from Colin Monk.
45.
Hasn't left himself handily placed after the 186. He's only on the 141 now. Doing a little bit of limbering up in the background there, Richie.
90.
Who said dart players aren't concerned about mobility and things like that? Options here. Michael Bull. He's got 55.
55.
And has scored exactly 100 points in his last 6 darts. Just got to glide this one over the top. And it was unfortunate not to bounce into the 60 there.
Oh, Colin. 56.
The last match we had, Barstow and Davis, started with a very scratchy first leg, and it got much better from there. Will this be the same? Bullseye for Burnett. Not far off. One dart at tops. Will be the shot after that central single. A very, very tidy finish from Colin Monk, who holds through in leg 1 here. It was a heavy defeat to Richie Burnett last night, but Colin Monk starts slightly stronger this evening. We've had lots of tweets since match 1.
60.
Mr. Hewitt on Twitter said it was their first time watching Chaz Barstow and likes his throwing style and looks a very good player. You're absolutely right. We're thrilled to have Chaz playing. We absolutely love him.
81.
Stephen Pemberton's got back in touch about asking about next week's players. Well, I'm not going to reveal who it is. It's not my job to do so until I get the nod. But let me assure you that the Online Darts Live League is going to run for quite a few weeks. So it's not going anywhere for now. Matt Parsons has said he's spending his Friday night watching the darts. Chaz has certainly hit the form we know he's capable of. Keep it going. From Matt and Chloe. So thanks for getting in touch, Matt. You're absolutely right. Chaz is a player.
100.
Colin, beware. You know Richie well. Stay away from that left foot pas bourrée that got dangerously close to your midriff there.
95.
And Colin is not out of this second leg by any means. He's got an excellent chance of breaking the throw here if Richie Burnett stumbles a bit.
100.
I don't know how he does that without getting a sore back. I really don't know. Maybe his warm-up routine involves putting his hand on a rail.
180.
That maximum makes Richie Burnett think he's in a bit of early trouble here. And for the second leg in a row, he's left 141 and hasn't got the 60 with the first dart. Monk looking a little bit more deadly this evening.
65.
For a 2-0 lead and a 5-visit leg.
44.
Colin Monk is in front by 2 legs to 0, and if he keeps doing this, he's going to cause huge damage to Richie Burnett's chances of making tomorrow night's final. He's in trouble, is Richie. Currently sitting on 4 points. He is 4 points behind Barstow and Hogan. And if he loses this to the bottom of the table, Colin Monk,
121.
you get the feeling that maybe Hogan and Barstow are going to get distance between them and Richie. Gavin Fraser's been in touch, said that rumour has it you're leaving the commentary box next week to play in the groups. I can confirm, Gavin, that is completely untrue. I don't know where you saw that rumour. Considering on the air this week I have said I'm waiting for an operation on my shoulder.
45.
I will say that next week you will have Chris Mason back in the chair from Monday until Saturday as he finds his way back into the commentary booth. And look, Burnett is absolutely seething so far in this match. Nothing going his way as Colin Monk just chips away at his total. We've also had nice tweets from Amy over in San Diego, a regular viewer, and Emily Atkinson Dalton enjoying the game. Great commentator. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for tuning in. We really do enjoy having your company.
60.
If I do miss your message, please forgive me. I'm trying to focus on the darts here for your benefit. And you can't take your eyes off the screen when Richie Burnett is throwing. It's not just about what he's hitting, it's about what he's doing at the same time. Currently Richie's only averaging 77, so it's a slow start too tonight, and he needed exactly the opposite. Monk is looking for his second 180 to lead that stat, and Richie has just seen that Monk has got 260s here, and he is like a trapped rat in a cage.
139.
He wants to be let out. Got to get to a finish somehow. Not able to do so, and this is really bad news. With Colin Monk sitting on 76, looking at tops again potentially, and he's been very, very good up here. He has not missed it until now.
6. 10.
Burnett may have to do what Joe Davis did in the first match. Come back from 3-0 down to force a 7th leg. But he still has the chance
15.
to get into this in leg 3 via the 3 missed darts at double. Here comes the fighting spirit. Got to make sure of the single.
In 3.
He's miscounted. 57 on 109 leaves 52, not 42. Everything is going wrong for Burnett tonight. And he cannot believe it. And the worst thing is, he hit it. Never a dull moment when Richie Burnett is around. Is Colin Monk going to make him feel even worse? He can't capitalise on the mistake. And now Burnett gets a shot at 5-5. That's very useful. Is it? 3 missed darts at 5-5. And he's had plenty of chances. I get the feeling that boiling point is very close to Burnett at the minute. And it's 18!
No score.
18's been the biggest factor in this leg. It's been hit twice unnecessarily. 5-5 is there, and what a leg we've just seen. Because last night, Richie Burnett had a 12 darter that included a 26 score in there. And that leg there included a miscount and a bust shot from Colin Monk. It had everything. 2-1 to Monk, and we're only halfway through this match. You have a lot of people talking about players being box office. Well, a lot of current players at the top of the game have got a long way to go to be as much of a box office player as that guy at the back of the booth. Because
55.
no matter what he does, he's a superstar. And I'm reliably informed today that because we mentioned I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here last night, apparently he's tried to get into something in relation to reality TV. He applied for I'm a Celebrity and got apparently to stage 2 and missed out on stage 3. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine Richie Burnett in the jungle or in a Welsh castle or in Costa Rica, which is where Gaza is right now for the Italian version of that programme? That I'm not one for reality TV. I'm really not. I like to watch sport. I like to watch different things. But if Richie Burnett was in the jungle or in a reality TV programme, I'd be hooked.
140.
And do you know what I'd do? I'd throw in Colin Monk as well. Because I think they would complement each other. Talk about the old days.
55.
This whole game for Richie has been a head scramble. If he can somehow get through this match and find 2 points, his chance of getting through to tomorrow night, it's still there for the taking. It's still in his hands. Because just imagine what he will do for the league table if he can beat Paul Hogan. If he can beat Chaz Barstow. He gets points for himself and he denies the points for them. But this has got to be turned around somehow.
36.
The reactions, I'm sure, are having an effect on the audience and how much you're enjoying this match. But you have to sympathise with Richie, who is going through the mill here.
60.
And Monk is just trying to play well and get the match won. Not even close to that yet. It's best of 7, first to 4. Just get the feeling that something's going to happen in this game.
40.
It's all well and good watching the likes of Gary Anderson versus Michael Van Gerwen. I tell you what, give me Colin Monk versus Richie Burnett any day. 74 left. That is 32 for 3-1. I think he's double checking. Richie's already shaking his head.
142, 69.
Can he draw level? This match is taking its time, but it's so dramatic. No shot at the bullseye. And the way he's played this week,
51.
at times, in an exemplary fashion, you'll be surprised he didn't get a shot at the ball. And he is currently 3-1 down now. He has to find 3 straight legs to deny Colin Monk his first 2 points of Group C. He will remain at the foot of the table if that's the case, but 1 more leg for Colin and he will win. Tweet from Lee Montague asking how many weeks did you say the league was running for? Well, Lee, I didn't. I just said many more.
100.
Can't tell you everything, can I? Got to have some mystery in life, like next week's players, or exactly how many weeks we're going to be playing for.
60.
You'll just have to find out via the social media feeds and tune in when we're on. I can confirm that we're definitely on next week and the week after. And I know some of the players that are coming in. And I'm keeping it to myself for now, because I can.
Absolute crap. 41.
I think the frustration of this match is starting to get to Richie. And he can't understand
60.
why he has played to this level, considering what he's done this week. Just goes to show what he expects of himself,
10.
even with his 54 years on this planet and the something like 30 years experience that he has. He still expects to be the best.
95.
I don't think that would ever change for a world champion. Once you have reached the summit, you want to continually be there. You don't want to settle for second best. And he's starting to speed up a little bit.
10.
And it is starting to work a little bit, but it may be a little too late. Winning this leg, and Colin Monk will find himself on -9 in his leg difference and on 2 points. It will take him off the bottom of the table for now. Oh, it's unbelievable that he's starting to find it now when Colin Monk is potentially on a match dart. Double top. Been very good up there. Not this time. But double 10 works, and it's a 4-1 victory for Colin Monk. And that could have catastrophic repercussions on Richie Burnett's chances of making the finals. We will find out what happens. But first, we have to see Paul Hogan against Joe Davis. And yesterday's daily champion makes his first attempt at getting points this evening on Friday night. Welcome back to Game 3 here on Friday evening at the Online Darts Live League. And it's time for Paul Hogan to have his first bow of tonight against Sussex's Joe Davis, who narrowly lost out to Chaz Barstow in match number 1 of the evening. It was a great fight back from Joe, but ultimately Chaz was too good. But in this match, we could see Paul Hogan stretch his lead at the top of the table. It's only by 1 leg currently. He's on the same points as Chaz. And his leg difference of plus 11 from yesterday is still good enough to grace the top spot. But any win here for Paul Hogan will bolster his chances of making the finals tomorrow. And with Richie Burnett losing that last match to Colin Monk, the job has just been made a little bit easier. But maybe Joe Davis is about to throw a spanner in the works. The best total that Richie Burnett can now get is 10 points.
100.
So he needs all sorts of help. Not to mention, Richie is currently 12 legs behind Paul Hogan in leg difference. So he needs a big swing in that, and he needs this man, Crocodile Dundee, to have a total mare from here.
60.
Ultimately, 2 of the games that Burnett has to play are against Hogan and Barstow. He's going to have to win them both. And have to beat
54.
Joe Davis as well. And he has done so a few times this week. But first and foremost,
80.
Hogan, who was undefeated last night, is looking to keep that stretch going. You don't think it's going to be Joe's finals this week. Only 2 points gained yesterday, and of course that narrow defeat in match 1. So the best he can do is 8 points with this match and 2 more matches after it. And you fancy that Barstow and Hogan are going to get at least 1 more win this evening. And that would be too big a mountain to climb for Joe Davis.
It's only 4.
But he misses double 18 to take the first leg in 15 darts here.
99.
Under the tiniest bit of pressure here with Paul approaching 78. And that is a really nice 16 dart start. And it's a little bit better than the start he had against Chaz, where they missed a lot of doubles, but maybe he's a bit more settled this time, and he may cause Paul Hogan some problems. When they played yesterday, it was a 4-1 win for Hogan. All of the headlines from last night were about the way Richie Burnett was playing and the fabulous 180 shooting and double hitting of Chaz at times. But it was somewhat lost that Hogan was the better player on the evening. He was the most consistent. He's the one that wasn't defeated. But maybe that's the way his career has panned out. Everybody else takes the headlines. I'll just take the points and the wins. Never really been one for the big limelight, but he has had games in the big arenas, in the limelight, against the likes of Gary Anderson, Glenn Durrant. Huge UK Open runs. And Hogan is starting to find his range a little bit more.
You sure?
I'm not sure what they were laughing about there, but it's good to have a somewhat relaxed nature between the players here. I get the feeling that these two know each other quite well. Players from Sussex, Berkshire, Hampshire, they're all in pretty close proximity.
105.
And when there are usual local tournaments on, they do tend to grace the same sports arenas at the same time and get to know each other really well. That is a tremendously timed maximum from Joe Davis, it has to be said. And now all of a sudden this 96 has got to go. Well, I didn't know if that was in, so I paused for effect. Joe Davis has to slide it down the left side. Oh, really well done. 14 darter, and his average is spot on 100, taking a 2-0 lead. And all of a sudden, the cat and the pigeons are being a little bit widespread, because if Joe Davis wins this one, we may have a bit of a closer evening than we thought on our hands.
180.
Somebody's done some good work in the practice board since match 1. The average is above 100 now, and he's 50% on doubles. Maybe the pressure is completely off Joe Davis now, with only the 2 points in the bank and the
57.
worst leg difference of anybody. So he is at the bottom of the table. So he's thinking, okay, the gloves are off. Let's just play darts. Let's just try and beat people. Forget about the league position. And I tell you what, it's working. He's a completely different player in this match.
140.
He's all over Crocodile Dundee in this one. Without throwing a dart, Chaz Barstow can go to the top of the table on leg difference if Joe Davis keeps playing this way.
Come on. 60.
64 left when he returns. He was trying to leave double 12 there. I can see the logic in not going for the 18s.
Oh, come on.
But Hoagie is all of a sudden starting to miss quite wildly. 50% on doubles so far, 2 from 4, double 8, and that percentage has just been bolstered. 3-0 to Joe Davis, and it was bad news for Burnett in the last match. This is good news for Barstow and potentially for Burnett. Well, what's going to happen from here? One more leg for Joe Davis, and he'll get a 4-0 win against last night's most prolific player. 102.79 for the first 3 legs. Yet again showing us why he is so highly regarded. In his mid-20s now. And the next step for Joe, realistically, is to try and contend for a tour card. It didn't happen for him at Q School. He was averaging around 84 for the matches he played. He lost just checking his Q School stats actually. He played in the finals and lost in the last 32 twice. And then
60.
in the last 2 days only won 1 match against Connor Scott. So it didn't go his way.
41.
I think if he can maintain this sort of consistency around the mid to high 90s, he's going to cause people problems over the next couple of years. Looking for 95 to leave 167. He can't quite get there. And with no treble there, Joe Davis is definitely still on for the bagel. Of which there were 4 last night. Well, that is a valuable dart on the floor. That could have been 60, but it was all flight and all stem, and the point did not touch the board enough to get him to a finish. And he's now lumbered on a bogey number.
56.
just taking his foot off the gas a little bit, has Joe here. And surely Paul Hogan is going to take advantage.
Yeah,
Of which he does. He gets his first leg of the night. And you just don't know how valuable that could be. If he does lose this one 4 legs to 1, leg difference may come into play to see whether he makes it in the top 2. Well, if you are going to lose a leg when you're 3-0 up, you're probably better off losing it when your opponent is thrown first.
96.
Adam Mould has been in touch on social media saying it will be a disaster if Richie doesn't make it to the final group. He's played awesome darts this week and been comedy gold all week. That's very true.
60.
But ultimately, you don't get your ticket into the finals with the way you play it. It's how many points you rack up.
180.
And there is a maximum again for Joe Davis. That is his 4th of this contest. He's equalled what Chaz Barstow did against him in match number 1.
78.
Most definitely in command of this. Looking to finish the job.
90.
His average has come down to 95.
140.
Paul Hogan's is only around 81. And most of the time that is not going to be enough against someone in the mid-90s.
59.
It was the mid-90s where Paul Hogan first made his appearance at Lakeside back in 1995, I believe.
101.
But it is Davis who gets the first crack to win the match. Match number 3 of 10 this evening. And Davis looks at tops. And
56.
underpitches it by a good 1.5 inches. Is the comeback on? It might be on 777. 108 scored.
Is it 2 trebles?
Yeah.
Double 7.
Well, Joe, very generous of you to tell him what he can hit.
Sorry,
And he just has. Don't you love this game of darts sometimes? You're actually, when you've got a referee in the room, you're allowed to ask what I've scored and what I've got left. You're not allowed to ask, how do I get it? Well, Joe Davis said, is it 2 trebles? Paul said yes. And then, of course, Joe said, 777.
140.
122 out, and this match is very much alive. After one mismatched dart by that young man there.
100.
Darts Only 180 has got in touch on Twitter and asked, will we be seeing Wolfie again? That is an excellent question. There's your answer.
100.
I'm enjoying having fun with you guys out there, not telling you who's coming up, because I do know, and I'm not going to tell you.
100.
It's good fun, this. Terrific stuff from Joe Davis, and really sensible in going for the 17s with the last dart. But Hogan, all of a sudden, has got his act together. Nothing is predictable tonight. It was 3-0 to Barstow against Davis. He brought it back to 3-3. And after missing the treble 19, it's likely that Hogan is going to do exactly the same.
56.
16 for double. For 3-3.
32.
And it's another chance for the man with no nickname to register his first 2 points of the night in his second game. He gets 2 more match darts. He's done so. He has broken Paul Hogan's heart, and he has just dented his chances of possibly making the finals. He's still in with a fantastic shout, but the unbeaten streak for Paul Hogan ends at 4 matches. So Joe Davis gets his first 2. Moving into game number 4, this one could be very good indeed. Like last night, it's Chaz Bosto against Richie Burnett. Don't miss this. One of the games of last night, and the reverse fixture this evening could not be more important really for Richie Burnett, because he is 4 points adrift of Chaz Barstow at the top of the table now, because Paul Hogan, losing that match by 4-2 against Joe Davis, has put Chaz at the top of the table by 1 leg over Crocodile Dundee. But if Burnett is going to get to the top 2 in this table, he's going to have to beat Chaz Barstow in this match. He's going to have to beat Joe Davis in his match after that. And I think he's going to have to beat Paul Hogan in his final match of the night. So, there you go, Richie. After losing 4-1 to Colin Monk, you can't afford any mistakes from here.
$180.
Well, that was such an explosive start. And the dart tried to leave the 60, but it was almost balanced on the other 2, and the point was touching
84.
the 60 sisal. I make that his 5th maximum of the night.
140.
How do you score so many 180s with the size of barrel he uses? Guy's got techers.
$59.
A win in this game for Chaz, and by my reckoning, he will be
82.
in the finals for tomorrow, because he will be 6 points ahead of 3rd and 4th spot.
58.
And that will effectively knock out Joe Davis. Colin Monk is already gone.
39.
And if Paul Hogan wins the next match against Colin Monk, that will be that. It's really important when you're playing Richie Burnett, and I can say this from experience, that you don't get involved in what he's doing. There's all sorts going on around Richie. You've got to focus on what you're doing, and Chaz is doing a fine job of that as he finds a 13-dart start, and he is the best averaging player again tonight. He didn't get the most points last night, but he had some of the Hollywood moments. Will he have some more from here as he takes a 1-0 lead? 2 very different players right there. Someone on social media christened Chaz a Terminator. They think he looks like a Terminator. I'm not going to disagree. But the forlorn stance of Richie at the back of the room there, he's cutting a very disappointed figure. He really, really wanted to play it tomorrow night, and he still can. But it's proving very hard work tonight.
60.
Barstow Q School averaged just shy of 92
97.
and missed out by 1 spot on getting full-time tour privileges.
$140.
And playing Barstow right now is just a very difficult prospect. He is swimming in confidence. He seems to be throwing with some real purpose and with a degree of simplicity. Doesn't overcomplicate the game. He doesn't say anything unnecessary. I'll be fascinated to get a chat with him at some point to find out what his motivation is. Right now it's tops. And it is a 2-0 lead. Just blistering stuff from Barstow, who starts with 13 darts, then 15 darts, averaging 107 after a couple of legs. And this may be a bridge too far for Richie Burnett. Unfortunately for you fans out there. The expression is changing leg by leg. And Barstow's Terminator style has no sympathy for the Richie Burnett fans who desperately want to see him play well tonight and tomorrow night. But who's to say that Barstow is not destined to win the title this week like Scott Marsh did last week? There were lots of people thinking it was Aaron Monk's last week. It wasn't. It was Scott Marsh's.
$93.
Chaz now needs the 180-170 combo, which we saw from Andy Jenkins last week. He's on for it.
140.
No longer. That very rare bird that we very rarely see. And Burnett has the luxury of using treble 10 or treble 18 here instead of 20 in bull. Or treble 14 for double 14. That is door number 3. Often used by Mensa Sulovic. It's nice to see somebody else use that route. I actually really like it.
60.
To get his first leg in this match. It's tops for a 13 darter. The quality just keeps coming. Excellent stuff. We're getting a bit of a sequence here. We've had a 13, we've had a 15, now we've got a 14. So surely someone's going to have a 12 or a 16 next. Let's find out as we go into leg 4. That camera angle is a great one. It gives you a little insight into how Chaz Barstow holds that bulbous dart. Just has it inside the fingertips and there's a little twist of it before he delivers it. And I think there's a lot of force in that arm. There you go. The little finger nowhere near the point.
96.
That's excellent technique. If you're practicing tonight on Friday or somewhere around the world at a different time, of course, because we have viewers from the United States and Australia on a regular basis and other parts of the world.
60.
Placing your little finger on the dart is a no-no. You don't want to do that.
96.
You can have too many fingers on the dart. Definitely use the thumb, the index finger and the middle finger. Possibly the third finger, but I'd say
140.
the first 3. The thumb, index finger and the middle. That's all you should require. And I think that's all that Chaz uses.
92.
120 left with Burnett possibly looking at a big out here. Bullseye for an equaliser. That's so close. So close to equalising at 2-2 in a must-win match. Steps across to open up the 60 bed and he's found it. He has not got the tops. That would have been catastrophic for Burnett. Double 8 to draw level. Double 4. And he gives himself a round of applause. But this could be bad news for Burnett right here.
Game in one.
And it is a game in one. We do get the 16. So we have had the 13, 14, 15 and 16. The sequence continues. So, if you're a Richie Burnett fan, turn away now because he now needs 3 legs in a row to survive. And he knows it.
Turn.
So to have a sequence, we need a 12 or a 17. And if you think I'm a bit nerdy saying that, you'd be absolutely spot on. I love looking at statistics and finding patterns. I suppose it's one of the reasons why I got into darts.
16.
I was very good at my 3 times table when I was a very young man. I remember when I was 6 years old and my maths teacher thought she would bamboozle the class by saying, "What's 17 times 3?" And I put my hand up and said, 51, miss, because it's treble 17. She thought I was crazy. And I said, Jockey Wilson hit it on the TV last night, that's why. That was back in 1985.
59.
Burnett is definitely in control of leg number 5. He's throwing a bit smoother in this match than he did against Colin Monk, averaging 91.7. But Chaz Barstow is averaging 97.5. He's continuing what he was doing in the first match. And a leave of 96. Oh, it's a bit precarious, it has to be said, with Barstow not taking the 147 for the match. Richie now is afforded no mistakes.
42.
Does he go double-double? Or does he go for the portion of the 60 he can see? What a shot that is. Double 8.
80.
A match-saving dart has been missed. It's bull. 15 tops, is it? Well, surely it's not 5 bull. Tops for the match. Oh, look at the wire move. Couldn't have missed it by a smaller margin, but Richie Burnett does not miss as he gets the first of 3 legs that he needs to survive in this one. He does need the points. He needs to beat Barstow, and he needs 2 more from here to do so. Barstow has the throw on this one. It was arguably the game of the night last night in Barstow's 4-2 win against Richie. It was just very eventful. You see certain matches and opponents will complement each other. I'm not going to say that every darts match is great to watch because it's not true. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you folks in saying that every darts match is enthralling. That's not the case. But there are fixtures when people play each other that it has a good effect on each player and the audience. And I have a feeling that these two playing each other has got something about it.
60.
I see these guys go at it the last couple of nights and I want more. It looks like only one of these guys is going to make the finals.
82.
But it's still possible that both of them can get through. Maybe not anymore. Because that is Chaz Barstow's 6th 180 of the night. His 2nd in this match. And it may be the most key one. Richie has given him 6 darts from 64 as well by missing the 18. And he's not going to mess around as Chaz. Double 16.
32
And
left.
his first match dart has come and gone. He has double 16 for 10 points in the table to be at the top on his own on points. And that's exactly what he's done. A second 4-2 win for Chaz Barstow in the space of 24 hours. And that pretty much knocks Richie Burnett out of the running. But it does depend on what Paul Hogan does. And he will play against Colin Monk next. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back after that very brief break. We're going into match number 5 now with these two legends from the south of England. Two players who have played for their country and played for their county as well. They played for the same county at one point, County of Hampshire, who have a shirt that isn't too dissimilar to the one that Paul Hogan is donning this evening. Lots of speculation on Twitter tonight as to who the next bunch of players might be. Well, I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not. Like so Brad Bayless, Paul MC getting in touch. Rabster's got in touch and said, can you find out what Chaz Bosto is throwing, please? I can ask. I'll see if I can find out for you. I know they're very similar to the darts that Paul Hogan is using. Chunky, old school darts.
60.
That's what we've got with Hogan and Barstow, who is currently at the top of the table and on 10 points. And by my reckoning, he is pretty much confirmed for tomorrow's final. So if you like Chaz Barstow, you get 2 more matches from him tonight,
55.
and you may get 4 more tomorrow. It is pretty simple. If Paul Hogan beats Colin Monk here, they will be your 2 finalists, Hogan and Barstow. Because with the matches that are remaining, there will be
60.
2 more for Hogan, 2 more for Barstow, and 2 more for Burnett. And if Richie wins both of them, he can only make 8 points in the weekly table. And Hogan and Barstow will already be on 10. So, big chance here for Hoagie to finish things up for the week and guarantee his spot.
100, sorry.
But Colin Monk is trying to stay undefeated after beating Richie Burnett in his first match. I said earlier his first goal was to get points after not getting any last night. He's done that. And now he wants to build on what he's already done. Been a lot of dart players over the last year or so trying to do darting impressions. The likes of Martin Schindler, Joe Cullen, and some others. Well, for some reason, nobody does an impression of Colin Monk. Fix that. I want to see it. Someone said something to me that's really apt earlier on social media. It's that the somewhat fishmouth approach of Colin Monk from yesteryear, it seems to have disappeared. When he delivers the dart, he doesn't open his mouth anymore. I didn't recognise that. But I have recognised that Paul Hogan's taken a 1-0 lead in this one. The battle of the two Hampshire legends. Well, first blood goes to Paul Hogan, who is 3 legs away from the finals if he can keep going. Just look at Colin's mouth. It stays closed. Colin Monk 2.0, so to speak.
140.
Every dart player's got their own idiosyncrasy. I used to smile when I used to throw for some reason. I had no idea I was doing it.
81.
Of course, the most famous of fish mouth throws would have to go to Shane Burgess, the Sussex player with the love for roadkill. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get his book called Everybody Gets 15 Quid. It is available online. It's worth a read. It's really funny. And it tells a very apt story about getting in the England squad in the mid-90s, of which both of these guys did. I had no idea at all, even after meeting some England internationals when I was growing up, that they had to share the shirts.
140.
You just presume, don't you, that they would get their own shirt. Shane was telling the story that he was told that his expenses were 15 quid. He was given it in a brown envelope, and then all of a sudden he was told, get one of the shirts off the rack. They didn't have anything in his size. Well,
136.
Colin Monk, take a bow. Even he's allowed to laugh at that one. Because what was that, monkey? 88 set up for tops. Who do you think you are, Michael van Gerwen? I love to see stuff like that. 10. 5. Now, with Paul Hogan on 166, I think he's done the right thing there to bust the score. You don't want to find yourself on something smaller, so back yourself the next time out.
150.
No room for error this time, Colin. Maybe the left side of the bed. No mistake at all as he finds the top corner with the guide above, but I think we've all got to have a bit of a laugh when he's got 56 and he's at 8 to leave tops. You don't see that every day, but it is 1 leg all in this one. Somebody seems to think that Chaz is using the old Eric Bristow red ring darts. Maybe Stuart Munger knows better than I do. I think that's his best mate. So there you go. There's your answer, Rab.
66.
They must be old Eric Bristow darts. And I'm talking old. 25, 30 years old.
140.
We had a fantastic display today from Jamie Kelling. If you weren't able to join us this morning and early this afternoon, Jamie Kelling, who came in at the last minute to replace the injured Jamie Caven, who unfortunately has to have treatment on a torn rotator cuff, which is a really, really nasty injury. Jamie Kelling came in today and won 5 games out of 5. And only just missed out on getting into the finals in just playing 1 day. As it turned out, it was Adrian Gray and Barry Bates who fought back from a very poor day on Monday and grafted all week long to get himself into Saturday night's final. Paul Hogan has been afforded 6 darts from 80. Doesn't have to go 25 in bull here. It's interesting. That would have been treble 15 for double 15. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to set things up, but it doesn't matter anymore as he has left tops. After that somewhat laughter-filled second leg, Hogan is looking to rediscover the lead
137.
at 2-1 here on the throw. Double 10.
20.
We don't have it yet. And he might not get it at all. Because Monk is looking upstairs for the 108. Lots of options here. And that is door number 1. What is behind door number 3? Not a leg winning shot, unfortunately for Colin. And without hesitation, Paul Hogan graces the oche and misses on the inside and busts the score by hitting the single 12. Colin Monk getting very fortunate this evening. Playing better and getting fortunate. It's a good combination. And somehow he's not able to bounce it in off that dart. It's a very well thrown shot. And ultimately Paul Hogan survives the leg to take a 2-1 lead in this match. He's 2 legs away from the finals. Can he find them in quick, smart fashion? Well, I have been informed by one of our backroom staff here, who shall remain nameless. But he's a fine wee chap. I will say that one. It is 4 years to the day since Paul Hogan's famous 9-darter in the British Internationals against Alan Suter in Bradford.
85.
Which was, of course, streamed online. And there were a lot of people who were very pleased for Paul Hogan that day, because around that time 4 years ago, he was very, very much on form. And that was just more proof of it, as he got a 9-darter in an England shirt. And I'm sure he will treasure that for the rest of his career. And the rest of his life, in fact.
140.
I believe that the players who look at this as a hobby and are still world class should never be underestimated. You look at someone like Johnny Clayton, who has been a plasterer and has turned into one of the best players in the world.
140.
Look at someone like Paul Hogan, who's been a great player for 30 years but has chosen not to dip his foot into the full-time profession, which is entirely his right. I don't think anybody should be pressured into turning pro.
$99.
It's nice that we have a mix of players like that. He's going to leave himself on a double.
96.
Tops left. And hopefully it's tops left for Monk after 1. It could still be after 2. But he does not get a shot. And Hogan will very likely be 1 leg away from the finals.
40.
After 5 matches.
In 1.
He's got it in 1. The 5th match is going the way of Crocodile Dundee. We're almost to the halfway point with tonight's schedule, and we may have 5 matches to go for the evening with our 2 players in the final. 1 leg away is Paul Hogan.
$60.
A lot is made about great techniques and great throws in darts, day in, day out. It's very precise, the pushing motion of Colin Monk. And it's something that hasn't changed over the years.
140.
That's what I admire about his technique. The fact that it hasn't changed. But look at the smooth rhythm, the smooth extension of the arm from
60.
Paul Hogan. That hasn't changed either. Do Do you know how hard it is to keep the same throw for 25 years? I find it hard to keep mine the same for 2.5 years. Never mind 10 times that. Average in this game for Paul Hogan, just a
68.
tiny bit under 86. Around 82 for Colin Monk. No maximums as of yet in this one. And one of the reasons why Monk is 3-1 down is because of his doubles percentage. Only 1 hit from 9 attempts.
45.
But he did hit a double on approach to double top a couple of legs ago.
59.
This one's getting the tiniest bit scrappy in leg 5. Hogan's the kind of player that just likes to get on with things. He doesn't like to get bogged down by statistics or situational pressure. He probably doesn't even know that he's only 1 leg away from getting to the finals. Maybe he does. I dare say the practice room this evening is probably a little bit quieter this evening than it was this time last week. Make of that what you will, as Colin Monk goes for double 12 and finds double 12. That doubles percentage has just improved and does so with an 11 darter, his best leg of the week. So Monk is back within 1 of Paul Hogan at 2-3 down. I was saying yesterday as well that Colin has aged very, very well. He looks just as good as he did 10 years ago.
40.
I do believe he still lives in the Andover area of Hampshire,
60.
which isn't particularly that far away from some very good areas of fresh air and forestry. He's always been very well built. Made of very, very tough stuff. He's the person you don't really want to run into by accident because you will lose.
45.
Surely Paul Hogan is not going to let this one slip. But all of a sudden, Colin Monk has found something. He's found something very good. And Hogan knows it.
140.
No matter what Hogan does here, he's under the pump. Even with that maximum, the first one of this contest, he still afforded Colin Monk 6 darts from 121. He finished the last leg in 11. He's not going to complete this one in 12.
$25.
2-1-6. And the back-to-back 180s are not possible to leave double 18.
60.
And nobody is safe tonight with a healthy lead. Just when you think Paul Hogan is cruising to a victory to get him through to the finals, Monk is having none of it. He's done it again. He's hit a double on approach for the second time in this match. And he's leaving a double that he's already hit.
78.
So are things starting to come up Monk? The average has improved to 86 now, and again on double 12 takes it to a 7th leg. This one will decide whether Colin Monk stays undefeated or whether Paul Hogan goes through to the finals in this one. Stay tuned. I've just had a message through from Paul Hogan's wife, and this one has made me chuckle a little bit.
85.
These are the stories that I want to hear, okay? Now, I'm a bit of a darting hipster. I love to hear great stories. I love great statistics. I love to reminisce. So, Paul Hogan's wife has got in touch and said, we still have a pair of England red trousers, which Paul had to share with fellow teammate Steve Coote. Steve Coote, great dart player from Bolton,
100.
who is currently a white hat fireman up in the northwest, and was famous for being on the end of that incredibly famous Sean Greatbatch 9 darter at the Dutch Open. But I tell you what a story that is. Still got the red trousers. Keep them somewhere safe, because I reckon they'll be worth something someday.
60.
60 scored and 60 ahead. Is Colin Monk playing spoiler tonight? Is he spoiling people's plans? Look at that. That is a definitive Colin Monk 180. His first of this game. And from 3-1 down,
100.
he's looking to join Chaz Barstow as undefeated after 2 matches. Is that in? It wasn't. And he's having real problems hitting the singles down in that bottom left corner. Colin Monk. Is this game finished? Is it going the way of Mad Monk Senior? Double top, and the match start goes the way of Colin. Double 10. Drags it to the inside, and Hogan has one more chance. Not meant to be in this game by the looks of it.
76.
But this is no gimme. Awkward.
Oh, Colin.
Very awkward.
6.
And match darts have been missed. 4 of them.
Yeah.
As Paul Hogan survives and leaves his favourite double, and ultimately it is his favourite double that graduates him to the finals with Chaz Barstow. That is that when it comes to the graduation to the finals, but as far as the daily champion is concerned, we're only just getting started after 5 matches. press on with tonight's action in the Online Darts Live League then. And Richie knows his fate as far as tomorrow night's finals are concerned. With his 4-point tally, he can no longer catch Paul Hogan and Chaz Barstow at the top of the table. So I'm sorry, folks, but Richie Burnett will not play tomorrow night. You will see him against Joe Davis here, and he will make his final bow for Friday evening, possibly Saturday morning, depending on the time of the game, against Paul Hogan in match number 9. So these guys will play their 5th and final match against each other this week. And hopefully for Richie, he will finish the week with a 4th win from 5. It's been an entertaining night so far, but it has not gone Richie's way. The plan has not worked. And somewhat mysteriously, Richie Burnett is the only person who hasn't got a win tonight so far. 2 wins for Barstow. 1 win for Joe Davis. 1 win for Colin Monk. And 1 win for Paul Hogan.
60.
You can just see that some of the intensity has been lost by Burnett in knowing that he's not going to play tomorrow night now. And maybe Joe will feel the same.
45.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the opening exchanges in this match are quite flat. Anything but flat here. Positively buoyant. So as it stands, we've got Chaz Barstow at the top of the table right now on 10 points and plus 12 for the leg difference. Hogan on 10 points and plus 10. They will now compete in 2 more matches each for the rest of the night to see who tops the table. It was, of course, Robert Thornton who topped Group A, Adrian Gray topped Group B, and we will find out if Barstow or Hogan will top Group C. As it stands, Barstow is top of the daily table. As far as the finishing stats, Richie Burnett would have been near the top with that 160. The man who has the best finish of the week is this guy. And he's just missed a big 10. Even a 6 or a 10 would have left a double. And that one is severely underpitched. So it looks like he's got 31 left. And a second consecutive single 15 does leave him on double 8. Double 10 for Richie. And the pressure's off. And all of a sudden, the kicking and flinging that's been going on for the last 4 days and nights, of course, it seems to have left him. And the pressure's off, so maybe he can play his best stuff. We hope he can. We don't want him to leave, but unfortunately, them's the breaks. They're the rules. Still wants the best from himself, and I don't blame him. Lots of tweets in the last few minutes about Chaz Barstow's darts, that everybody seems to think they're the mid-90s version of the Red Ring Bristows. So I think Rabster or Rabsmith2 on Twitter is going to be very happy with that. But if you can find a set of those these days, 26 years after release, I guarantee you, you're a genius. Somebody seems to think they're from 1988. So there's all sorts of theories going on here. If they are from 88, it's even harder to find. Somebody somewhere will have a mint in box set, keeping them away from public eyes.
55.
They'll probably find their way to bargain hunt or flog it at some point. And they'll be worth about 250 quid.
140.
Probably would be if they had Eric's signature on them. Because unfortunately Eric's no longer with us. I wonder what he would have made of COVID. And what he would have made of the Online Darts Live League and how things have evolved in the last 12 months. We can but speculate.
$96.
Nice approach from Joe. And he'll have to go back to that 15 bed that he hit twice at the back end of the last leg to get a shot at double 16, which has been his chosen double of the week. He goes for it again and finds it again. A very tidy leg there from Joe to equalise after 2 legs. It is 1-1. They are playing for pride, of course, but after duelling for 4 matches this week, I think Joe wants to get one over on Richie one more time. I think if there was a punching bag in the room, Richie would give it hell for leather.
44.
And judging by some of the darts he has played this week, and some of the viewers who have got in touch with us, I think it would be very appropriate for Richie to return. Don't you? If you want him back, I suggest you get in touch with Online Darts on Twitter or Facebook and make your feelings known. I know how things work these days. There's all sorts of ways you can put your opinions across. I have to say it. I didn't get to comment on Wolfie last week, but I did get Richie this week, and I did get the Thorn. I did get Barstow, so Chris Mason, I think I might have got the better one than you. But he is back on Monday. As to who he's commentating on, you'll just have to wait and see, won't you? I love that I know and you don't. Perks of the job.
60.
Darts Only 180 on Twitter has said something very nice about Colin Monk. He said, he looks like he's not far away from being a decent player again. With activity and consistent practice, I'm sure that snatch will go away. I tell you what, I think he's right. I think Colin Monk's still got something. And one thing he has got tonight is confidence. I think Colin Monk would love another crack himself. Well, Adam Mould has asked, please tell me that Richie Burnett will be back. At least give that away. Well, I can confirm to you, Adam, that Richie's not playing next week. As to whether he's back or not, I don't know. Does he hit double 9? He couldn't have got closer to that board if he'd have tried. It's almost like he was giving double 18 a bit of a stare.
18.
Just because someone has played in either weeks 1 or 2 doesn't mean they won't return. Anything's possible.
40.
Double 9 is possible. And it is a break of throw for Richie Burnett as he takes a 2-1 lead in this one. It's not the best affair, and you can understand why they're a bit flat because they know they're not making the finals, but they definitely still want to win it from here. Got a very interesting match for you after this one. Hogan and Barstow.
135.
And they are at the top of the table, so they're dueling for top spot. Of the two, you'd have to say that Barstow is playing the better darts tonight.
95.
Because he has won 2 from 2. Stack of 180s and has the higher averages. So he will go into that one as the favourite. If you are choosing to have a little bit of a sneaky bet tonight, please do so in a responsible manner. Remember, it's 18 plus. And if it does stop being fun, please do take a moment and stop. And begambleaware.org is the website to go to if you want more information on that.
140.
This has been an excellent leg from Richie Burnett. And a good performance without 180 so far.
7.
He might find his way to an 11 darter though, the second of the evening. And that is a 12 for Richie Burnett to get to 3-1. He has been the better player in this, and it seems like he's a bit more relaxed in this match, and he's only one leg away from winning it 4-1. Rapster's got in touch with me again on Twitter saying that he doesn't believe that those darts are Bristow Red Rings. So the mystery is still alive. What kind of darts does Chaz Bosto use? Well, I think if we were talking about this for hours,
140.
we could speculate till the cows come home. I'm going to have to start getting my spies to ask him. So that's the last I'm going to say on the matter.
59.
We know that Richie Burnett doesn't like to change his kit at all. He's still got that yellow stem and that flight that's very similar to the shirt that he wore back in the mid-90s. If I could own an old dart shirt, and this is a one for you guys out there. If you could own one dart shirt from any period in world history, what would it be? I think I'd want to have that World Championship winning shirt from 1995 of Richie Burnett. I really do hope he's still got it, but I would love to own that shirt.
80.
I think everybody should own a very special dart shirt. I actually have a few special ones. I have a one-of-a-kind Robert Thornton shirt.
60.
When the first Jockey Wilson Cup took place, before the World Cup started, Robert was given one shirt to wear when he partnered with Gary Anderson against James Wade and Phil Taylor, and I own that shirt. I love the fact that I have that. Richie Burnett will love the fact that he's won this match if he finds 18 and double, but he might go 14 tops now. Tops for the match to win 4 legs to 1, and the wire was clipped.
68.
Another single 20 for the bullseye to stay in the match. And he said it. Nope. And Burnett is back for tops. Double 5. And he finds the dart for a 4-1 win. And that's exactly what he's done to Joe this week. He's won 4-1 out of their 5 matches. So that's where a lot of his points have come from. But ultimately, in Group C, it's not enough points for him. But it is his first 2 points of the night as we go into a battle for top of the table between Barstow and Hogan. Without further ado, we go into the top of the table clash. Everybody's got points this evening now, after that Burnett win of 4-1 over Joe Davis. So the daily table is as follows. Barstow at the top on 4 points and +3. Colin Monk in second position on 2 points and +2. We have 2 players on 2 points and -2 in the shape of Davis and Burnett, and Paul Hogan is on -1 in his difference, so he is above those 2 players in mid-table. But as far as the weekly table is concerned, these 2 players are safe for tomorrow night's finals. But where will they finish? The leg difference is as follows when it comes to
16.
last night and tonight. Barstow is top with 10 points and +12. Hogan 10 points and +10. So there are 2 legs between them.
85.
Someone is going to create distance between themselves and the other after this, before we go into the final 3 matches of the evening.
59.
And this was a fixture yesterday.
90.
It was a win for Paul Hogan. Barstow let this one slip, and it was a particularly good game. Will we see the same from these 2?
100.
$58.
59.
That's a really bad lead from Paul Hogan. Should have utilised a different bed there.
57.
And as a consequence, Barstow is first to a finish. It may not make much of a difference, as we've had a very
71.
scrappy start to this one.
$96.
It's a good visit in the end to leave the 2 data, but Hogan gets the first crack at it. We'll have to utilise the treble 19 after that big miss. Wasn't happy with that dart, and won't be happy with that one as well.
28.
It could potentially be a 20 dart break for Barstow, and that's exactly what he gets. He is a bit of an opportunistic player, is Barstow, and he is trying to lengthen his lead at the top of the table by winning against Paul Hogan here, and he gets the jump as he takes an early 1-0 lead. Well, I've just had a tweet from Ian Freeman, who has tweeted in before this week, saying that Richie's shirt from 1995
100.
was given to his father by Richie 11 years ago, and he's actually posted a picture of it as well.
59.
You lucky duck. I hope you know how lucky you are. I am trying to measure my jealousy right now, but it is palpable, trust me. Lots of speculation as to who will join the Online Darts Live League next week, and I'm not going to tell you who. Doesn't matter what you say to me, I'm not going to say. This is accurate stuff from Barstow, who has regularly been dipping his bread in the gravy of the Triple 20 tonight.
60.
Single 10 for tops, surely, because he's been mustered up there and is again, as he doubles his lead in no time at all. Barstow looking like the favourite, and maybe when they were announced as players for this group, Bosto was the favourite with his current form. Let the speculation commence about who is favourite to take the title tomorrow night. Of course, it will be 5 players. Each player will play 4 games.
100.
Same format as tonight, but it's one night only. And it goes down to points. 2 points for a win, Each game will be best of 7. And there's the maximum for Barstow, who gets not his first of the evening. He's got plenty.
41.
Like I was saying, 4 matches, all best of 7. If you can't be separated on points, it will be on leg difference. And if you can't be separated by that, it will go to the head-to-head record to crown a Week 2 champion to join Scott Marsh.
45.
We haven't had a 4-0 all night long. And maybe Barstow is positioning himself to do just that.
140.
Looks very relaxed throwing away with a steady 94 average, which is gradually improving by the visit.
140.
2 out of 3 on his doubles as well. 78 left. Now sitting on tops after 12 darts thrown. And no matter what Paul Hogan does here,
99.
it's all in the hands of Chaz. Misses tops for the first time,
Game in 3.
but doesn't miss double 5, and he's looking for the first bagel of the evening. Is he going to find it, or is there another comeback in a Paul Hogan game just about to happen? A win here for 4-0, and Barstow will be 2 points in front in the Group C table,
41.
with a leg difference that will be 6 better than that of Hogan, with 1 match to play for both. Chaz has to wait until the final match to play his 4th and final game against Colin Monk. Not so long for Hogan, who will play Richie Burnett in the penultimate game. Joe Davis and Colin Monk will finish their campaign. Well, Joe Davis will finish his campaign, sorry. Colin Monk will play 2 of the final 3 games. I'm still reeling from the fact that Richie Burnett does not own his World Championship winning shirt. I still own my Players Championship winning shirt from 2010. Nobody's getting their hands on that one. That one belongs to me.
100.
I don't keep a great deal of my shirts. I like them to go to a good home. But I do keep the really important ones to me. Like my first Cap for Australia shirt when I was in the Oceanic Test matches against New Zealand back in 2008. Times playing against the likes of Warren French and Warren Parry. It's a very important shirt for me. My World Championship debut shirt I gave to my best friend from growing up, and I do believe he's still got it. Bullseye for double 16 to finish the job.
50.
It's almost blistering from Barstow. And it could well still be 4-0 for the man from Winchester.
38.
2 16s. Double 8. Job done from Barstow, and he's looking very good, not only for this title in Group C, but also the daily title, because one more win from him will ensure it, and he will have an undefeated night, just like Hogan did last night. Going into the next one, it is Joe Davis who finishes his campaign against Colin Monk. Final match for Joe Davis this week. 5 days he's been playing and he has done his reputation no harm whatsoever. He's had some very good high points, but some extremely good experience for him playing in the Online Darts Live League against the likes of Colin Monk, Richie Burnett, Barstow, Hogan, Thornton, Caven, Fitton, Bates, you name it. He's been playing them all this week and he's done himself very, very proud indeed. He's going to bow out after this game, but can he bow out with one final win to finish on 4 points for the night and potentially get himself onto 6 points for the group. He picked up 16 points in Group A, which got him 3rd spot, which was really good going in that group considering who he was up against. Colin Monk was part of the new players that came in last night. And this is his 2nd day. He is not going to get through to the finals.
85.
But with 2 games to go for Colin Monk, he is now the only player who can deny Chaz Barstow the double tonight. The daily win and, of course, the group win. I can confirm via leg difference that Chaz Barstow is the top dog in Group C. So Group A was won by Thornton, Group B was won by Adrian Gray, Group C has been won by Chaz Barstow. But as far as the daily table is concerned, if Colin Monk was to win this match and beat Chaz Barstow, he could still beat him on leg difference. But he has to win the 2 games.
85.
And he has to win them quite well because he's 5 points behind in the leg difference. So the fact that he's playing Barstow in the very last game is telling. Because if he takes legs off him and wins, the leg difference will flip around. Barstow loses legs, Monk gains legs. But he has to beat Joe first. That's the first task.
59.
First to a finish, the man from Andover.
57.
It's been a long week for Joe. He's been playing since 9:30 on Monday morning. Talk about putting in a shift. You can never blame a dart player for being lazy when they put in a full shift in the Online Darts Live League all week long. I get the feeling he's going to sleep quite well this weekend as he misses treble 17 for tops. But he does get the leave on 32 and he's been excellent down in that corner this week. Monk for the first leg will look for 60 and double 15. Well, that one's a bit wild. And that one is pushed to the left as well of its target.
30.
Joe Davis finds double 16 and takes the first leg against the throw. And if Joe Davis was to win this match by any margin, of course, Chaz Barstow will do the double. So let's get into leg 2 and see how he gets on. How about a few shout outs? It is Friday night, of course, it's 20 to 12. And I'm sure there are a few people
36.
around the UK and indeed around the world who are having a few Friday libations. Just to confirm to Lee Cuff with the Welsh flag next to his name on Twitter, I am not one of the players next week because I'm not playing. I am handing the commentary seat over to Chris Mason and I am doing other things next week.
60.
Dale Chambers has been in touch. Shout out to myself and Uncle G watching the darts from the Toon. We are, Dale. Nice to have you tuning in from Newcastle. What a city. Can't wait to go back up there when allowed to do so.
45.
And Joe Wheeler, one of our regulars, has got in touch saying, can you give a shout out to Zoe, Gary, Lola and Lily, who have been watching, loving the arrows. As we all have this week, it's been fantastic.
91.
And a shout out to all of our sponsors here at the Online Darts Live League, the likes of Marshall Group, the DJ Shop, Red Dragon, Online Darts, of course, who have been hosting this event on their YouTube channel, and the likes of Servicesure and Frame Smart as well. Thank you for helping us out and being part of the team to bring you this fabulous event.
60.
Great first start from Colin, searching for the maximum to leave double 18. And he may just get there.
140.
You can see the disappointment in an elite player. Usually you'd think, yeah, I'm happy with the 140. Colin wasn't happy. He wanted the maximum. He wanted more.
40.
That's a good attitude to have. Now he's going to have to go 11 bulls, surely. Bullseye for 1-1. Wasn't far away. 2 millimetres to the northwest, and that was in the bullseye. Gets a shot at double top on the 114. Oh, it's a beautiful shot from Joe Davis. And that's a good one for Chaz Barstow as well, as Davis, who really wants to sign out with a win tonight, gets to the halfway point at 2-0. Fine finishing from the young man from Brighton. 2 for 2 on the doubles. 100%. And an average just shy of 89.
100.
Just had a text from Chris Mason. Nice to hear from Chris late on a Friday. He's tuning in, even when he's not working in the Online Darts Live League. That's commitment. And that's a love for the game, is right there. He's been very impressed with Colin after
85.
7 years out of the game and getting better the more he shakes off the hockey rust. I completely agree. And I've had a few other messages from people about how impressive Colin has looked. I think he's done himself a lot of credit this week. And with a few more games under his belt, I think there's possibilities for Colin Monk.
85.
There is an inherent amount of ability in the Monk blood. We know what Aaron can do. We know what Colin can do. They've got darts in their DNA.
7.
Very, very good darts from Colin Monk, it has to be said, to leave himself the 2-darter from that awkward position. Can Joe get to a finish that is a little bit smaller? He can't. No troubles there. And Monk is at tops for a 14-darter. Double 10, and it's a 15-darter for Colin Monk. Gets himself on the board with a very, very accomplished leg. And I echo the sentiment of Chris Mason, who's just texted me now, saying that Monk has got possibilities, and I think he's looking good. In this match, he is 2-1 down. I've always been fascinated by the follow-through of Colin Monk, because when he brings the dart towards his eye line, the palm is facing the ceiling. And if you have a dartboard at your disposal right now, late on a Friday night, why don't you try and throw the way that Colin Monk does? It's a very, very difficult way of delivering the dart. He has to push it with his palm up to the ceiling, and the natural physiological thing to happen with the hand is the hand moving to the left. So if he has a miss, it should be to the left of the 60.
100.
But he corrects it with the way he follows through. Watch the hand. It pops to the right. It's not a full extension of the arm. It's a pop. It's a prod.
60.
Andy Parry has got in touch on Twitter. Can you give a shout out to Fletch, Josh, and Andy loving the darts?
57.
And our Team Chaz. Well, Team Chaz is doing rather well, Andy. He's got himself through to tomorrow night, so you might have to schedule another night in front of your iPad, your smart television, your smartphones, and tuning in via
60.
your means. You can, of course, choose the Online Darts YouTube page if you wish. Or if you have a favourite bookmaker site, please gamble responsibly. I can't stress that enough. 18 plus only, begambleaware.org. And Colin Monk cannot leave the finish after 12 this time. And Joe Davis is in a very advantageous position. Especially now after that dart.
140.
To the end, Joe Davis is giving everything he has. He has worked extremely hard this week to try and gain as many points as he possibly could. This week he has got 20 points. So he has won 10 games of darts against this company. And he's looking for win number 11. He'll be closer to it if he finds double 16 once more. Double 8 is good. It's an 18 darter from Joe Davis, and he is one leg away from getting that 11th win. But more vitally, if he does win another leg, that will mean that Chaz Barstow wins the daily table. Can he do it to make it 4-1? Darts Only 180 has got back in touch on Twitter with a very good question, actually.
45.
Why hasn't Aaron Monk really fulfilled his potential? He looked like a future star and it just hasn't happened. Well, it is a very good question. And I don't think there is a question about Aaron's ability on the dartboard. I think everybody knows that as far as the actual technique, he is one of the best out there. I personally think with Aaron that there are some... Now, how do I put this? Because I really like Aaron. And I've toured with Aaron. I spent time with him. I really like the guy.
57.
I just think he hasn't tapped into his psychological potential, let's put it that way. I think that is the box that needs to be ticked for his future. I think if he could find a bit more composure
25.
and maybe curb his aggression a little bit on the dartboard and find a bit more calm focus, I think that is the key to his future.
100.
If he doesn't find that, I don't think it's going to happen for Aaron. But I would like to think that he would tap into the resources that are available to him, and potentially he could find his way back to the elite where he belongs.
100.
He is one of the best 128 players in the world. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
134.
It's always next year to try and find something, but this year, you never know. We might see him back here. Might see him on the Challenge Tour competing. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing all the time and expecting different results. So if it's not happening for you, you have to change something. And that is my message to Aaron. Will the match finish here? Not quite.
60.
2 matches remain after this one. And Colin Monk is searching for a treble 17. Which he doesn't find on this occasion. And Davis,
48.
to finish his week, has 2 darts at tops. Double 10 is there, and that's the last dart he delivers for the week. It is his 11th win, And fair play to Joe Davis. I think he's played fabulously this week for a total of 22 points for the week over the course of 5 days. His job is done, but it is Chaz Barstow who has won today's table and got himself through to the finals. He will play in the last match, but first it's Richie Burnett against Paul Hogan. Welcome back for game number 9 of the evening, and this one will more than likely take us past midnight. An England legend and a Welsh legend go toe to toe, and it will be, unfortunately folks, the last game that Richie Burnett plays in the online Darts Live League for this week. He has provided us with barrel loads of entertainment. Can he give us one last hurrah against finalist Paul Hogan, who will play tomorrow night, and will do so by going through this group in second place, because no matter what he does, he's not going to catch Chaz Barstow in the daily table or indeed the Group C table. Just had a tweet from Yogi in Spain, who is joining the action from Europe, who is apparently a very good friend of Chris Mason's. He's just said I'm a better commentator than Mace, and that he's not going to be happy with that. Well, Chris, I'll let you handle Yogi. I'm going to stay out of it. Thanks for the compliment though, Yogi. I'll probably have to disagree with you. I'm a big fan of Chris's. Seeing our first 180 of the match from Richie Burnett, and with all of the pressure off now, it's just playing for pride. And that's something that Richie has in abundance. I was particularly impressed last night by the Twitter sphere saying that Risa fans should play Richie Burnett in a movie of his life. I cannot for the life of me think of someone better for the role. I wonder if Risa fans has tuned in or potentially heard about that potential role, or whether there's any particular directors around the world who would think, oh, a darts movie, now there's an idea. There's been loads of sport movies about pool and all sorts of other things. Why not darts? Double 16. And Richie Burnett starts with a 14 darter. And if only he had had something like that earlier on, he may still be kicking in the race for tomorrow night. But unfortunately, that is not the case as we go into leg 2. Tim has got in touch saying that he's tried Colin Monk's throw in his kitchen.
90.
Well, no, the cats are in the kitchen because him trying Colin Monk's throw almost hit the cats. I did warn you. I was saying along the lines of Martin Schindler and Joe Cullen, who are synonymous with darting impressions, that they hadn't done a Colin Monk. Well, I don't remember them doing a Richie Burnett. Surely someone's got to do a Richie Burnett impression. Let's get that trending on Twitter or on TikTok. Let's get dart players doing an impression of Richie Burnett. And the best possible ballet style follow through that you can do. Come on, let's make it happen. Let's get everybody waking up on Saturday morning in the UK and around the world with Richie Burnett impressions. Come on, you know you want to do it. Get on your TikTok account. Get on your Instagram reels. Get cracking. I expect. Make it happen.
140.
Paul Hogan's had a very much improved leg here, leaving 66 after 12 darts thrown. Is it his turn to win a leg in 5 visits?
66.
You bet it is. 66 done the Paul Hogan way. And he does like to leave double 18 if he can. And he has done so on this occasion to level things up at 1 leg all after 2 legs in this match. Penultimate game of the evening. And we will finish with Chaz Barstow against Colin Monk. And Chaz has the opportunity, of course, to finish his campaign on Friday night / Saturday morning with 8 unanswered points to do exactly what Paul Hogan did yesterday.
60.
This fixture went the way of Hogan yesterday. It was his first win of 4 and it was a 4-1 win.
140. $76.
Well, after 2021 has had a somewhat interesting start, after 2020 was one of the worst years for a lot of people.
84.
We sincerely hope that things improve for everybody, and the addition of the Online Darts Live League has, I'm sure, cheered a lot of people up to give them their dose of darts wherever they choose to view. It's been my privilege to bring you all of the group action this week, and I will be in the chair tomorrow night for the finals. Very much looking forward to seeing that group of players. Robert Thornton will be back after a 2-day break. Everybody gets a lie-in tomorrow.
84.
I do believe I'm going to be having a chat with Phil Bars tomorrow in the Online Darts YouTube page, so stay tuned for information about that. Richie Burnett has got double 8 for a 15 darter to keep the trend going of 5 visit wins, but that is broken here unless Paul Hogan takes the 160. Hang about. Almost
81.
made it come true. Double 8. And Richie Burnett rediscovers the lead at 2 legs to 1. So Wales, in a year where everything is coming up Wales in darts, with Gerwyn Price being the world champion and Johnny Clayton being in the form he's in as the Masters champion, the Welshman is winning this one 2-1. Richie in the background with a look at the floor as if to say, I don't want to go home. Well, trust me, Richie, the fans don't want you to go home either. If you've ever seen Blackadder Goes Forth, the famous Rowan Atkinson and Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie
60.
comedy programme from the late 80s, I would suggest you go and watch Blackadder Goes Forth because it's one of Richie Burnett's favourite comedies of all time. It's something that we've talked about for years, especially the moments of Private Baldrick in that sitcom. Some of the funniest jokes ever told.
95.
And if you want to strike up a conversation with Richie Burnett, just talk about that, because it will engage him. I give you my word. That is the word of the darter right there, the maximum from Richie. His second of the match, and gets him back in this 4th leg.
80.
Really doesn't want to do that kickback And he's not able to get to a finish.
22.
Tired darts from someone who has flung a lot of arrows this week. What is he doing in the background?
Oh, God.
It's almost like he was trying to lift the Jules Rimet World Cup from back in 1970. 133 is the ideal number here. Asking ye shall receive, says Richie. Hogan finds a puncture wound in the 51 to give himself 2 shots at double 16 to level things up,
51.
but is unable to find the half of the bed that he could see, and Burnett is back for tops to break the throw. Double 10. Too many of those this evening. That has been the case, unfortunately. The loss against Monk was very costly in his first game.
Yeah.
And he has also lost this 4th leg to Paul Hogan. He is losing legs tonight, Richie Burnett, that he should have won. And that is the difference between not getting through to the finals and getting through. Hogan is through, but will he win this match as it is poised level after 4?
$140.
$100.
I wonder who the favourite is from here. You'd have to say Burnett because he has the throw.
94.
And still with the leave on the halfway point after 6. Hogan having to find something that he hasn't really shown this evening. He has been below par, but he's done enough after yesterday to find his way to the finals. He may have something in the tank ready for tomorrow night. If you think that someone like Adrian Gray, Robert Thornton and Chaz Barstow will automatically win tomorrow night, think again. Just think of last week. Aaron Monk was the favourite going into the finals.
140.
Think about Jason Askew, for instance. It didn't happen for those guys. It was won by Scott Marsh in the end. Not to worry, Richie. You will have a shot at the 112.
99.
Hogan's not far behind you, so I would have a very close look at this. Double top.
Oh, 92.
So close. Just under pitched. He would have ordinarily left double 16, I think. But now, Hogan's going to remain on the small bed, and what a dart to leave double 19.
180.
That's absolutely sublime from Crocodile Dundee. That's probably, for me, the finish of the evening, because look at how much of that 60 he could see after he blocked the bed. It wasn't much. It was maybe a third. And after that, he pulverises the double 19 as well to take the lead. Not Richie's night. And ultimately, not his week. He has provided us with some huge highlights, like the best average we've seen this week of 109 in beating Robert Thornton 4-0. Bag loads of 180s. Some big outs. Some great highlights like that 12 darter from last night, which was 180, 26, 180, 115 checkout. I don't think I'll ever forget that leg. And there are times when he delivers a dart and makes it look so simple. I don't know about you guys at home tuning in, but I just get the feeling that if someone
140.
could get a hold of Richie Burnett and somehow eliminate that violent kickback and give him some sort of mental coaching to stabilise him. I think there may be something great left in him. Just get that feeling that maybe the story isn't written.
25.
Well, his story for this week may be written. If Paul Hogan takes this 70 out, because this is the first genuine match-winning chance. 17 for Bull. And that's almost the best he can hope for. He's gone for the big 17. And he's just shaved the bullseye wire. And Burnett can stay in it with 16 and tops. Tops it is then with 2. Only needs the 1, and we're going all the way in this penultimate match between the Welshman Richie Burnett and Paul Hogan. Who's going to win it? Probably Richie Burnett is the slight favourite, but does there appear to be one more twist in the tail?
$140.
Dave Yates on Twitter believes that Richie Burnett has been the star of the week. Well, in school terms, get him a gold star and just put it on his brow. We'll give him star of the week if you want, Dave. It is a shame that he won't be playing tomorrow night, but just think about what you will see. You'll see Barstow, Thornton, Hogan, Gray and Bates. It's a nice mix, that. Paul Hogan's only won 1 match tonight, which is very different to what he did last night. And his leg difference is -5, and that's not going to improve by too much, even if he wins this last leg. Burnett's only won 1 match as well. So whoever wins this one in this last leg will finish on 4 points alongside Joe Davis, but will not finish above Joe Davis in the daily table because his leg difference is +1. So he's better off than both Richie and Paul. Really wanted to leave 84 there, didn't he?
$100.
They're both left on ton 20 plus outshots. And Burnett is looking for 54 Bull to finish his week with a flourish. To go with a bang. And he almost does it. Look how small the gap was between the dart and the bullseye. The width of the wire. Does Hogan get a shot of the bull? He doesn't. And it's up to Richie to finish with a victory. To get his 28th point of the week. It's double 4. And that's what he does. He finishes with a victory. And look at the celebration from Richie Burnett. We have got ourselves into Saturday morning. And it's an early Saturday morning jig from the Prince of Wales. He's provided us with so much entertainment this week. But let's go straight into our final match, which is Colin Monk and Chaz Barstow, which will be our last group qualifying game of the week. Final game of Friday night stroke Saturday morning's action. And this one has promise, of course. Yesterday, it was a 4-0 win for Chaz Barstow when he averaged 93 against Colin Monk. But things have changed since then. Colin has had a few more battles under his belt, shaken off a few bits of ring rust, and the currently very confident Chaz Barstow will still fancy to get himself another 4-0 win here, because it's not just Colin Monk who he's beaten 4-0. He has beaten Paul Hogan 4-0 tonight. He beat Joe Davis 4-0 last night. The only person he hasn't beaten 4-0 was Richie Burnett in this group. That was a good performance from Richie Burnett in the last game. An average of just short of 92.
60.
And that ensured that he finishes tonight with 4 points. Finishes the table in third place in Group
81.
C with 8 points and +1. Top of the table is Barstow, even if he loses here. And Colin Monk will remain at the foot of the table unless he beats Barstow, which means he would promote himself to 4th position. Colin was
100.
still in control of his own destiny when he was playing Joe Davis in match number 8. If he beat Joe and beat Chaz, he could have still won the daily table. But that is no longer the case.
100.
Barstow is going to win that too. And if he wins this match, he will remain undefeated for the night.
41.
As far as other people are concerned for the daily table, Joe Davis has finished on 4 points and +1. 4 points and -1 for Burnett. And currently at the foot of the table, it's Paul Hogan, who has gone from top of the table yesterday to the bottom today. But it's still good enough to get to the finals. As Chaz misses the treble 13 for double top.
36 left.
Well positioned after 5 visits. And it's double 18 when he graces the oche now.
$18.
Not to be. And we could see a bit of magic here early in the morning in the UK. Not to be from Colin Monk.
$100.
Options of splitting this one, but he's a no-nonsense dart player and he doesn't mess around. So that's double 3. I think he was just expecting to hit the single 1, but has found the double 3 anyway. And that is the Little Richard way of getting himself 9 points with a treble 1 and a double 3. Doesn't matter as long as you get the numbers right and the execution. That's exactly what he's just done for a 1-0 lead. If Chaz Barstow is to win this match, he will finish the group on 14 points, which is exactly the amount of points that it took for Adrian Gray and Barry Bates to get through their group. Now, admittedly, Chaz has played less games than those two. He played 2 less games because there are less opponents in Group C than there is in Group B. Robert Thornton came through as the group winner in Group A with 24 points, but he had more opponents each day than Chaz and one more day.
180.
Maybe not the last 180 we'll see from Chaz Barstow. He's getting himself a bit of a reputation as a big 180 hitter.
$121.
Not Not able to get the second 60 on this occasion. But he is well positioned to have a crack at Colin Monk's throat. The simple equation of 60, 14 and bull sounds easy. Can he make treble 18 and bull look easy? Not quite, but a fine, fine try. Colin not able to lay up in clean fashion. And he leaves himself on 59 after missing the single 20. And a single 20 has been hit by Chaz. He finds himself missing the single 1 as well. So early Saturday morning misses for Chaz. Double top for Colin Monk to equalise. And double 10 is needed for the 6 visit win. And that is a picture perfect, beautiful double 10 from Colin Monk as we go into the middle portion of this best of 7 match. None the wiser as to who's going to win this one. It's 1-1. Just looking into Chaz Barstow's Pro Tour form this year after playing 17 matches.
85.
Let's look at some of the people that he has played against. Made his Pro Tour debut against Mikhail Unterbuchner. Lost that one by 6 legs to 3. Then he had a bit of a day
55.
on day 2 of Players Championship 2. I should say Players Championship 2 in Super Series 1.
55.
He beat Stephen Bunting with a 93 average. Then Zoran Lurchbacher of Austria with a 93 average. And he beat Josh Payne with a 93 average. Sensing a bit of a theme here. He then lost to Mensa Sulovic in the last 16, so no shame in that. The day after he lost to Damon Heta in round 1, we definitely know there's no shame in that, because Damon Heta is one of the best players in the world.
7.
The following day, he was at it again. He beat Nathan Aspinall and Alan Tabben, and lost out to Maras Razma in Players Championship 4.
140.
Monk doubles down on the 140s. Barstow will be not far behind him, you feel. He's going to need 2 treble 19s to leave a finish here.
96.
Going into Players Championship 5, he lost to Joe Cullen in the first match on the stream board of Players Championship 5. I was commentating on that with
41.
one of my colleagues, and it was a blistering game. He really did worry Joe Cullen. He averaged 103 in that game, Chaz Barstow, and only just lost it 6 legs to 5. He lost to Glenn Durrant in round 1 the next day, but then the next day after that's when he really came up on people's radar. He beat Leon Kai Fan, he beat Gerwin Price that day, he beat Andy Hamilton, Scott Mitchell, and ended up losing in the quarterfinals to Gabriel Clemens.
60.
He is definitely on people's radar now, and we expect him to do well later tonight in the finals. How many points will he have going into those finals where the points will be wiped as they start from scratch? And Colin Monk goes way over the bar for that 120 shot. Barstow needs double 14. And he doesn't mess around. That's what makes him so watchable. He's 2-1 up now, Chaz Barstow, and it takes him no time to convert that 88. So watchable, so talented, and I think he may be the favourite for later tonight. Just based on the form, the amount of wins that he's getting, some of the things that he's doing. If you are choosing to have a little wager on who is going to win the finals, have a bit of a think first about what is possible. The fixtures will be released in due course.
140.
He will have to play against Thornton, Adrian Gray, Barry Bates, and of course he will have to play against Hogan again for the third night in a row.
45.
134.
You might not mind playing against Paul Hogan because he beat him 4-0 tonight. In decent revenge for losing 4-3 to him yesterday. So he has the impetus against Crocodile Dundee potentially.
100.
This is a very strong leg from Chaz,
Oh, 83.
but he doesn't like that last dart, and if I were him I would feel exactly the same. It's good to see people on social media saying that watching the Online Darts Live League is inspiring them to get back on the practice board. That's what we like to hear. I was going to say, this is what we like to see. Big finishes taken early on a Saturday morning. Just approaching 25 past 12 in the morning here in the UK. And Chaz is looking for the 13 darter, which will swell his lead to 2.
Game in 1.
No problem whatsoever, whether it's morning, noon or night. And Chaz Barstow is only 1 leg away from winning this one 4 legs to 1, just to rubber stamp his place in the finals with a daily title in the bag as well. This could be the last leg of Colin Monk's week.
180.
And respect paid to Chaz there by Colin. Chaz is playing that well. He's making this 86 average look very pedestrian. He's got so many more levels he can attain. And with somebody coming at him tomorrow like Robert Thornton, I think that is the game that I'm looking forward to the most.
41.
I hasten to say, I think a lot of the fans will feel the same.
5.
The possibility of Thornton versus Barstow, yeah, that's got potential written all over it.
96.
We're only 21 hours away from that. We will start at 9:30 on Saturday night. So set your alarms for about 9 o'clock. Get yourself a nice libation ready.
98.
And we will play 10 matches later on to find out who wins this week in the finals. 105 matches this week.
45.
This could be the climax of match 95. Doesn't have to go 18 ball, but 60 and double 4 will get it done.
4 left.
And he's landed himself on double 2, which will be good enough for a 4-1 victory if he can find it. Even at this late or early stage, depending on how you look at it, he's still shaking his head and still trying to get the best from himself. Double 2. And there you have Chaz Barstow, who rubber stamps his place as top of the table for tonight, stroke this morning, and of course for Group C. He has been, for me, the best player in the group by quite some way. Very consistent indeed. Wherever you've been tuning in, whether it's through your favoured betting site or indeed through the Online Darts YouTube channel, we do thank you for your company. It's been my pleasure to bring you all of the qualifying action this week. But tonight, I was just going to say tomorrow night, it is tonight. Please join me and join everybody as part of the team at the Online Darts Live League for the finals. It will be Thornton, it will be Adrian Gray, Barry Bates, it will be Paul Hogan and Chaz Barstow vying for the title from 9:30 p.m. Do not fail to join us then. Set your alarms and we will see you in 21 hours. See you then.